Hey folks, welcome to the second part of our 2026 Homelab tour. If you have not seen the hardware breakdown yet, go check that out first. It will make a lot more sense once you see what all this software is running on. Today, we're walking through the software stack we use every single day. I will not dive too deep into hardware here, but I will show in the corner which server or VM each service runs on, just so you have a context. Everything is grouped already, so hopefully this stays organized and not total chaos. Alright, starting from the top. Let's start with orchestration and talk about Proxmox. At the heart of everything is Proxmox, our main hypervisor running on the EPYC server. Inside Proxmox, you will see all my VMs and templates. I don't really use LXC containers much. Instead, I prefer running a dedicated Docker VM and keeping things separated. It's cleaner for me and easy to rebuild if something explodes, which, let's be honest, happens in Homelabs. Now about backups. I run VM backups to two targets: an NFC share on TrueNAS and secondary backup server. Even though the NFC share lives on the same physical server, it's a completely different storage pool. So if my mirrored NVMe boot drives decided to retire early, I can still restore everything. Because backups are cool, rebuilding from memory at 2 AM is not. Now moving to Proxmox backup server. On the secondary server, I run Proxmox backup server, or PBS. This isn't a hypervisor, it's a dedicated backup solution. It handles VMs, containers, and even physical host backup. I don't use it daily, but when I need to restore it, it's basically a few clicks and done. And those are the moments when you really appreciate good backup design. Moving to Portainer. Most of my Docker containers live inside one dedicated VM and are managed with a Portainer. I use Docker Compose tags for almost everything. It's easy to version, easy to extend, and easy to migrate if I ever decide to rebuild the VM. Infrastructure as YAML as it should be. IPMI. Both servers have IPMI, which means I can remotely access BIOS, my entire source, or reinstall operating system without even touching a monitor. It's one of those features you don't think about until you don't have it, and then you regret everything. Now, let's talk about network. Starting with pfSense. For routing and firewalling, I run pfSense. I have multiple VLANs, main LAN, cameras, IoT, NOT, and guest VLAN. Each has custom firewall rules controlling traffic between them. I'll also run WireGuard directly on pfSense for secure remote access to the network. So when I'm away from home, I'm basically still home. Unifi Controller is next. I switched away from a UniFi Dream Machine Pro years ago and started self-hosting the UniFi Controller. Now I manage all my switches and access points myself. The topology view and client devices tabs are amazing for quick debugging network issues or just spying on what device is consuming all the bandwidth. Usually it's a torrent. It's always the torrent. Moving to PiHole. I run two PiHole instances. One primary on the main server, one secondary on the backup server. PiHole acts as my DNS sinkhole, blocking ads, trackers, and unnecessary telemetry. It's amazing how much junk disappears when you enable DNS filtering. And yes, everything at home uses it, no exceptions. Let's talk about storage. And we start with TrueNAS. I've been running TrueNAS, or formerly FreeNAS, since 2020. It's actually the reason I moved away from QNAP and Synology and started building custom servers. Right now, TrueNAS runs as a VM with HBA pass-through on the main server and as a bare metal install on the backup server. Over the years, I experimented with jails, VMs, and containers, you name it. Today, I mostly use it for storage on the main server. And on the secondary server, I also run a few lightweight VMs. ZFS has saved me more than once. Silent corruption is scary. ZFS is not, believe me. Syncthing. Syncthing is my near real-time sync solution between SMB shares, NFC shares, and client machines. It's not a backup solution. Let me repeat, it's not a backup. It's synchronization, and it works beautifully for keeping data aligned across all your devices. Vaultwarden. Vaultwarden is my self-hosted password manager. Fantastic browser extension, mobile app, desktop app, and no subscription required. If you're looking for an alternative to Google or Apple passwords or 1Password, this is absolutely worth considering. Home automation is next. Home Assistant. Home Assistant is the brain of our smart home. This alone deserves its own dedicated video, and it will probably get one if you comment down below. For those unfamiliar, it's one of the largest open source projects in the world. Home Assistant integrates thousands of devices and allow basically unlimited automation possibilities. The only limits are your imagination and your budget. Most likely your budget. Next is an N8N. N8N is my automation playground. It allows building very advanced automation flows, including AI integration and LLM communication. The project is growing insanely fast, and there are tons of free templates to get started. It's extremely powerful once you start chaining services together. UniFi Protect. After years of using Blue Iris and FreeGate, I moved fully to UniFi Protect, and it's like a breathing fresh air. I love tweaking systems, but surveillance is one place where I want reliability over tinkering. Protect has been rock solid. It just works, and sometimes just works is exactly what you need. Media is the next, and we start with Jellyfin. Jellyfin is our local streaming platform. I switched from Plex some time ago because I wanted to support open source and avoid subscription fees. No regrets so far. Works perfectly for our home setup. Moving to Immich. Immich is another the faster evolving self-hosted projects right now. All our photos live here. We moved to Immich when it allowed external library indexing, and since then it's been improving with every release. Very impressive project. Paperless. Paperless is our document digitation platform. We're not heavy users yet, but we're migrating toward it. The functionality is solid, and the OCR capabilities are surprisingly good. Soon, no more paper files. Hopefully. The download suite. Now the automation trio, RStack, Radarr, Sonarr, and Lidarr. These services manage movies, TV show, and music. They monitor releases, grab content automatically, organize everything beautifully, and basically remove manual tracker browsing from your life. Absolute game changer for media collectors. Another component of RStack, Prowlarr. Prowlarr acts as an indexer manager for the entire suite. It integrates multiple trackers and serves them to Radarr, Sonarr, and Lidarr based on your rules. Centralized and clean. Transmission. Transmission is my torrent client. It runs inside a dedicated VM with the VPN and firewall rules that only allow traffic through the VPN interface. So yes, very secure Linux ISO downloads. Only Linux ISOs, obviously. The bottom section is dedicated to various tools that didn't make their way to previous categories. Netdata. Real-time monitoring for temps, loads, and system stats across your servers. It's fast, lightweight, and gives me instant visibility when something looks suspicious. Nginx Proxy Manager. To keep everything under HTTPS with friendly domain names, I use Nginx Proxy Manager. I run my own certificate authority on pfSense and I sign certificate internally. Nginx acts as a reverse proxy between users and services, where those services run locally on a separate VM. I prefer clean URLs over IP addresses. Uptime, Kuma, and SmokePing. These two monitor service availability and network stability. When the internet drops or latency spikes, I can actually see when and where it happened, instead of guessing. Fantastic debugging tools. NetAlertX. A network device tracker. If a new device connects to your network, you will know. If a known device disappears, you will also know. Great for keeping track of everything in your VLAN jungles. OpenSpeedTest. When your network exceeds 1 gigabits per second, online speed tests become unreliable. OpenSpeedTest runs locally, so I can properly test internal 10 gigabit speeds. Because yes, I need to know. MinIO. I've been running MinIO for S3 object storage, but I'm currently sunsetting it. Recent UI changes made it less practical for my use case. Stay tuned, I will share what I replace it with. Ollama. I run a dedicated VM for local LLM workloads with Ollama and OpenWebUI. I don't have a monster GPU, so I run smaller models, but they are enough to power Home Assistant, N8N flows, and private AI chat. Local AI is incredibly fun to experiment with. Grafana. Grafana handles visualization of time series data because numbers are good, but pretty graph are better. And finally, the home page. It's a self-hosted dashboard that aggregates links to all your services with widgets and status indicators. When you self-host this much stuff, a clean entry point is mandatory. Otherwise, you just forget what you even run. And trust me, that happens. And that's the full software tour of our Homelab. If you haven't seen the hardware part yet, go check it out. It will give you the full picture of what powers all of this. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please subscribe. It generally helps us understand that this kind of content is interesting to you and motivate us to keep building, testing, and maybe slightly over-engineering everything. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.